Good evening. It's Tuesday night, the third Tuesday of the month, and it's my turn and Chuck's turn to take a shot at the show Nye County. I'm Tom Gibson, your co-host, and to my left is Chuck Augustin, and we're here to discuss what we started last time we were on the show, is to get through the court system, at least the local court system here in Nye County, Nevada. And Chuck is about to bring us up to date from what we had last time, and then we're going to plod on further.
Okay, thanks, Tom. First of all, I'd like to give a plug for a new facility that's up and running and is going to expand. It's called the Independent Wellness Center. It's run by Dr. Reiner and Dr. Christensen, a chiropractor. I went by there last week, and it's a fabulous facility. They're going to get into acupuncture, nutrition therapy, counseling, sleep lab. They're trying in the future to have like a total support center where you can go there and really take care of a whole array of problems. Their number is going to be 751-7041, and it's at 2080 East Calvetta, right next to the VA. Another thing, real quick, today's commissioner meeting was interesting as always. One of the major topics in the comments was regarding corruption. And with that,
here?
Yeah, with my own feeling is we've got a totally corrupt system. Individuals within the system, no matter how hard they try, are bound by a corrupt system. The system has been compromised. And until we do radical changes to the system, the individuals can either take advantage of the system as far as corruption or fight the system, but they're probably not going to win because it's so corrupt up and down.
And it goes all the way to the top.
Exactly.
I mean, tell me that our commander-in-chief isn't corrupt as well.
Exactly. So anyway, last week we started on the court system here, and one of the things we emphasized was before you call the police, understand that that's elevating the issue to a whole new level. If you have a squabble with your wife or husband, and you call the police and say he threw something at me or whatever, even if he didn't hit you, that's going to suddenly be a charge, and you're going to pay the price, both in terms of money and incredible stress and aggravation. So think before you call the police.
And be very, we want to make it very clear, if you're in danger and if there's seriously a problem and you're afraid that you're going to be injured, that's a different story. I mean, you need help. But if it's something where there's just an argument and somebody, tempers are elevated, then you need to make a real clear, concise thought on what and how much you want the government to be in your life after that, because they will be, and they're not getting out, not without their permission.
The next thing we talked about was if the police come over and say, hey, what are you hitting golf balls at your neighbors, or why did you do this, why did you do that? Should you even say anything to the police? And my opinion, having gone through it, is no, don't say a word. It's not going to do you any good. Tom, I think you kind of endorse that opinion, certainly not without a lawyer.
Right. A victim should report a crime if a crime is committed, especially if it's like a property crime where someone has like stolen something from you or destroyed something or endangered you. Yeah, I mean those things should be reported, but when you report something, you're empowering the government, and you may not like the way they look at things. And I can tell you, I had a client in my office recently who reported the theft of firearms and other materials from his house in a burglary, and the detectives and I don't know if they were detectives, but the deputies that were working the case began accusing him of trying to commit insurance fraud. And that is not what happened. And then later on, when it was shown that he was being truthful and these things were stolen, and these stolen items ended up in criminals' possessions when they were arrested later, then the cops admitted, well, they didn't admit, they no longer accused the man of the insurance fraud, but no apology was ever given, and nothing was ever done to straighten out the poor matter that was at hand.
Okay, next thing, if you are accused of a crime and you are not arrested, or if you are arrested, eventually you'll go first to the justice court. And depending on the charge, you may proceed on to district court if it's a gross misdemeanor or a felony.
Correct.
But your first stop is the justice court, and there's two of them here in Pahrump. Justice Court A, which was previously Judge Kent and is now Judge Sullivan, and Justice Court B, which is Judge Jasperson. There's been much issue over the appointment of Judge Sullivan, and I won't get into that right now. However, I think it's interesting they both are ex-police officers, which to me doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing or a bad thing. It depends on what kind of a judge they are.
And it could, sometimes, my experiences are, ex-cops are often good judges because they see through the BS. Now, when they're on the force, they see things differently, but then they have to wear a different hat when they're a judge. And Billy Moma, who used to be the judge down in Laughlin, he used to chastise cops that he knew were lying, and he would say, "I've been to that place, and I know that you can't see a car driving at that angle, and you're a liar, and don't ever come into my court again." And I couldn't see Ron Kent ever doing anything like that.
Well, we'll get into that. We're going to play some clips from my my fiasco in court shortly. The final thing from last week is, once you're charged with a crime by the police, the prosecutor, well, it ends up you're being charged by the police because the prosecutors don't investigate it. To me, they don't even review the stuff.
Actually, they do, but
if they did,
the problem is there's so many cases that they get because where I come from, originally back in Nebraska and in the Midwest and other places in the world, after the originating officers forward their reports, they were forwarded to a desk sergeant that screens them for whether they're worthy enough to go to the DA's office. And unfortunately, they don't do that here. Ever since I've been in this county in January 2001 to present, my understanding is there's no screening whatsoever. It's just the cop does what he does at the ground level, and it goes immediately to the DA's office. And there's no a supervisory position that sorts through, determine if there's any merit to these things. Because a lot of times it's just an angry cop,
right?
Or it's just or whatever. I mean, there's a million reasons why that some things shouldn't go forward at times, but that doesn't happen here. So then you get this DA with a stack like this on their desk, and you're like, and all of a sudden you're getting near the statute of limitations because you're looking at this stuff over and over and over the course of a year, and on misdemeanors anyway. And so they just start at certain times of the month start just filing things that they probably wish they hadn't later, like your case.
Right. Okay, Noah, do we have time to play that first clip? This is the arraignment. This is what you finally end up in justice court.
Fine. Time set for arraignment, injury to other property. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
All right, as you're aware, sir, you're charged with gross misdemeanor injury to another property. Do you have a copy of the criminal complaint filed herein?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, because your liberty may be at risk, I need to canvass you to determine whether, well, number one, can you hire an attorney to represent yourself?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. How much time will you need to get?
I don't need any time. I don't need any time, sir.
All right. Well, do you have an attorney? What does that mean? Have you already
Well,
consulted?
the implications behind this case are far bigger than the charge. So I.
Right, now, hold on a second, because as I said earlier, I hope you were paying attention. You have the right to remain silent about the facts.
Right, right.
I want you to follow my advice on that, because we're just talking about a plea of not guilty.
Okay.
All right. Now, do you need the court to appoint you an attorney?
No, sir.
All right. Well, when will you have him here?
I don't know.
Set another hearing, sir, and I want your attorney present.
Okay, I'm not sure yet.
Well, what am I supposed to do? I can't just hang my calendar out to dry until you get back to me. All right. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. You're going to retain your own attorney. I want a short setting to confirm counsel and a pretrial. And then I want to set a preliminary hearing out. It's very important that you have this next hearing. I need either a written confirmation of counsel filed with the court by your attorney, or I need you to come with your attorney for the hearing I'm going to give you. It's a pretrial hearing. You, your attorney, and the state will have an opportunity to discuss all the complexities that you've alluded to.
Okay.
Contemplation of maybe some sort of resolution of this matter.
Okay.
But I still have to track. I'll set you a preliminary hearing date also. It's just court administration trying to make these files get through the process. Just work with me on this. Confirmation, pretrial confirmation of counsel. Make sure your attorney files his confirmation and his presence here. Don't delay the court. Right?
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Could I not represent myself officially until further?
Well, further is now. The pretrial, I want your attorney there.
So I'm required
Yes.
to
I mean,
have
this
an
is not-
attorney?
Yes, because your liberty is at risk, and I want you to have an attorney. So you may think you understand what's going on, but by looking at your facial expressions, I can see you don't really
Obviously, yeah.
have a grasp.
Okay.
We're not going to be penny wise and pound foolish with your liberty, sir. Get your attorney and get him in here, okay?
Okay.
All right.
December 30th, the pretrial, 1:30. Preliminary hearing, March 3rd, 9 a.m.
And December 30 is also confirmation of counsel.
And we're about to take a break, our first break, and we're not going to be taking any calls for the first half of the show, but we'll see you when we come back. Thank you very much.